Hey, what's up, guys? Little man with a big opinion here. So, I know I mentioned it in my last couple of videos, but uh, the family of two has grown to a family of three. We've got a 1 month old boy, and I'm always talking about doing this prepping stuff. And I've made videos in the past where I talk about prepping for uh, the pets that we have because they're family. And I would say the same thing about uh, my son. So I thought I'd go over the things that we're doing uh, to prep for him. Uh, Step one is we do breastfeeding. Uh, the wife was pretty adamant about it, and it's something that she seems to be doing very well. Uh, doesn't enjoy the waking up every 3 hours to pump, but it is what it is. Uh, so as long as I can keep her fed and healthy, essentially his food source. Uh, we talk about doing it for a year. In theory, we can go longer than that, uh, and plenty of parents do go longer than that. Uh, but we want to transition to uh, regular food fairly soonly after the 1 year mark. Uh, we have a freezer that she's able to store all of the extra uh, milk in, and currently each day worth of her doing the pumping. So I say we're doing prepping, it's mostly her doing prepping. Uh, and when he's eating 7 to 10 times a day. Uh, I am very impressed they were able to put away any extra milk. Uh, but even on this trip that I took up to see family, we've been away from home for about a week and we have 20 additional ounces. Uh, and so that comes out to almost an entire day's worth of feeding for him. Uh, and then at home in the first month, uh, of his life, I think she said she had another 45 ounces. Uh, and I can only see the numbers going up from there as, the hormones kick in and she starts producing more. But we purposely got a freezer to be able to store the milk long term. Uh, we have a gas generator, and I've got my uh, solar battery bank to be able to keep that running in case anything bad does happen to the grid. Uh, at this point, I just need more solar panels to make it more efficient, keep it actually running all day instead of uh, only running it at night to help it cool down on its own and do like a energy saver during the day. Uh, so we've got that going for us. And then we also have cloth diapers. Now, when we travel, we do, regular diapers. And for the first little while, uh, when he was going nearly every day, uh, we were using regular diapers. And we have backups of those. Uh, but we currently have about 40 cloth diapers. And half of them go from 0 to 35 pounds. Uh, a quarter of them go from like 15 to 40 pounds, and the last one, I don't remember their exact sizing, but we plan on buying more in the future. But currently, We can roughly go every 4 days before we have to do a big full wash, even though she washes them every other day because uh, they get stinky and we don't just like having them sit around. Uh, for one, it's a huge cost saver, uh, but it also, is a very nice prepping item, and it's something that I imagine other preppers have, you know, done something to prepare in that sort of way. But I looked up the number the other day, and there's roughly 3.5 million kids born in the United States in, I think, 2022. Uh, and so, fairly large number. And I imagine a lot of those parents would be very um, concerned very quickly when they realized, they're treating it just like their food pantry and things like that. They're going from diaper box to diaper box. Maybe they've got two boxes of diapers, so when one runs out, they get another one. Uh, but they would very quickly find themselves having to come up with some other form of, you know, keeping clean clothes on their child. Something else is we did spend quite a bit of money on setting up, our baby pharmacy. Uh, we very much would like to have the things at the house when he inevitably gets sick. It happens with babies, and in some ways, I would say the things that we have for him is even more extensive than what I have for us, and it shows a place that I need to put more effort into as a prepper. Uh, but I do know that, myself as a parent and other parents out there uh, feel very hopeless when their kids get sick. Especially when they're younger and they can't tell you exactly what's hurting. They're just crying. Uh, and then the other thing that I would throw out there, and this is only in like, extreme circumstances, is there are certain medicines that, the only difference between the kids and adult version is the dosage. So in a pinch, you could use, the adult version of the medicine and break it down, but that's like, you know, after everything else has failed, uh, and that only works for some things. Uh, Obviously, as a parent, you're gonna do whatever you can for your kid, and I'm not recommending it. It's just I know it's an option out there, and I know people have, you know, done stuff like that in a pinch because you know they're looking out for their kid and they're trying to take care of them in the best way that they can uh, with what they have available to them. Uh, so it's a good recommendation that if you're planning on having a kid and you're into prepping, that you should know, yes, babies are expensive, and there's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. So you should just already plan and be aware of uh, adding that into your preps. Um, I would also say that I have a very good family, and we have more clothes than we know what to do with. Um, I think my wife said she brought about a third of his 0 to 3 month clothes, and he has not worn the same thing twice in this week. So he's got roughly a month's worth of 0 to 3 months. Um, and, some babies grow faster than others. My aunt was saying her son never even fit into 0 to 3 months by the time they left the hospital. Uh, and so we have other friends and family members that know that when people buy stuff for babies, they always get the 0 to 3 months. And so we have clothes ranging from 0 months to 2T. Uh, and I don't really have anything much bigger than that because I think that's getting into an excessive level of prepping. But making sure, you know, that you've got clothes available for your kid is one of those things that you prep for. Uh, and then, kind of when they hit that 1 to 2 year mark, a lot of what they can consume is the same things that you can consume. So, you shouldn't completely stop buying, your everyday food staples, uh, because the kid will get to the point where they're eating those same things. Uh, Preppers say it all the time that, store what you eat and eat what you store. And so, you don't want your kid to also only be the kid that gets, chicken nuggets at every restaurant that they go to. And, they only want to eat, mac and cheese and chocolate milk and things like that. Uh, I'm not saying, don't let your kid enjoy those kind of things, uh, but they should also diversify very much in what they're eating. You should be having them try different things. Uh, Figure out what they like and start storing that, um, as well. And then I would also say that, you know, still let them be a kid, let them enjoy stuff. Uh, if they want to have chocolate milk every Saturday morning, you might not be able to store chocolate milk, but you can store milk powder and chocolate syrup. Uh, and it's very much one of those things that, I don't know how this channel is going to go along, but I definitely feel like I've got, you know, at least 18 years worth of content, explaining, raising a kid as a prepper, or at least giving him the same knowledge and skills that I have, and he can do with it what he wants. But, you know, hopefully he doesn't think I'm crazy, and, it turns into a lifestyle for him where he keeps bearing the torch. And these videos would one day turn into, you know, prepping after you're 50, and, prepping into retirement, and, uh, you know, things like that. So, the last thing that I would say, and I think it really does help that I'm very much involved in scouting, uh, but there's a lot of these skills that we cover in these different prepping videos, and you see people make them all the time. Um, Kids are very much like a wet sponge. They absorb everything that is around them. And, it's up to you what you end up teaching your kids. Uh, but something that I wish I would have learned earlier instead of learning it in high school is CPR. Uh, you know, Having a much stronger physical fitness mindset. Uh, you know, Eating healthier foods. If y'all didn't know, I'm a type 2 diabetic. Uh, and I think I could have maybe avoided it a bit longer if I had ate better. And it runs in the family. And a lot of people in the family don't do a lot of running, myself included. I try to run at least once a week, and I have differing levels of success with it. Uh, but there's a lot of ways that you can mold your kids into, having, very similar morals and values. And uh, prepping is definitely a good thing to have. Uh, it's just like anything else. You can put a lot of time and effort into it, and I treat it like insurance. And it's a insurance that I know is not going to fail me. It's a insurance that I know that every dollar I put into it is going directly back to me. I'm not saying I want to get in a car accident, but I pay that insurance every month, and haven't gotten any dollars out of it. Uh, and when crap hits the fan, that insurance isn't going to keep myself, my wife, and my son fed. So, that being said, if you've got questions for prepping with a baby, I've been doing a lot of research on prepping for toddlers, prepping for uh, small children. Haven't really done much of the prepping into, as they start to become a teenager and stuff like that. Uh, but I can say I became very interested in this when I was about 13 or 14 and The Walking Dead first came out, and that's over a decade ago. So keep the questions coming. Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts? How do you prep with kids? Have you even thought about prepping for your kids? Uh, and I hope this video can let parents to be or preppers that expect to have kids at some point in their life. Hopefully this video will help you out. If it does, leave a like and hit that subscribe button. If you've got a friend or family member that benefit from these conversations, then share the channel with them. And with that, catch you in the next one.